It was the kind of road people forget exists. Just the shimmer of heat, the buzz of distant flies, and something small lying still near the edge of the gravel. At first glance, it looked like trash, maybe a torn piece of clothing or an abandoned bag. But then it twitched. It was a puppy. Tiny, frail, curled in on itself. Its fur was singed by the brutal summer sun, and its chest rose with desperate, shallow gasps. But that wasn't the worst part. Wrapped tightly around the puppy's trembling body was a thick, dust-colored snake, massive like a python, only native, its body coiled with deadly precision around the pup's ribs, pressing the last breath out of the poor creature's lungs. Cars passed, one after another. Wheels hummed over hot tar, engines groaned in the distance, but no one slowed down. No one looked twice. This road was far from any town, just a forgotten shortcut between places people actually cared about. But someone did see him, and she didn't look away. A silver sedan came over the ridge, windows down, radio faint. Inside was a 20-year-old girl named Harper. She had no plans of stopping. She was on her way back from visiting her grandmother's farm 2 hours out, just trying to make it home before dusk. But then, her eyes caught movement. A flick of muscle, a wag too weak to be real. She slammed the brakes. Dust shot up around the tires as the car squealed to a stop. She stared, frozen, trying to make sense of what she was seeing. The puppy, it wasn't just lying there. It was dying, suffocating, and the snake wasn't letting go. Harper's heart pounded in her chest. She leapt out of the car, grabbing the first thing she could, an old wooden stick from the trunk. She ran. The ground burned under her sandals. She didn't think about the danger. She just swung. The stick cracked against the serpent's back. Once, twice, 3 times. But the snake didn't budge. Its grip only tightened. The puppy let out the faintest whimper, a sound so soft it nearly shattered her. She dropped the stick, ran back to the car, threw open the back hatch, hands shaking, searching for something, and then her eyes landed on a red can, an old gas container she kept for emergencies. She hesitated for half a second. Then Harper did something that would terrify most people. She poured the gas over the end of the stick, her hand trembling as she struck a match. The fire roared to life. She stepped forward with the flame burning in her hand, eyes locked on the beast that refused to let go. This was her last chance to save him. The flame danced wildly in Harper's grip, casting jagged shadows across the dusty roadside. The python's dull, earth-toned body shimmered faintly in the heat, undisturbed by the burning stick, until it wasn't. Harper stepped closer, heart pounding. The heat of the fire singed her arm hairs, but she didn't blink. She swung the torch down, not to strike, but to threaten. The fire hissed near the serpent's scales. The snake flinched, then shifted. Its tail twitched once, then began to unwind. With a final aggressive crackle of flame, Harper jabbed the burning end near its face. That was enough. The snake recoiled, slid back, uncoiling its suffocating grip around the fragile puppy's belly. It slithered into the brush, disappearing beneath the cracked dirt and dry weeds. Harper dropped the stick, her hands now shaking uncontrollably. She fell to her knees beside the puppy. It wasn't moving. She placed a trembling hand on its side. The fur was damp with sweat and snake slime, and its ribs were alarmingly visible. Its breathing was so faint she could barely feel it, but it was there. "Come on," she whispered, scooping him up with more care than she had ever used for anything in her life. The pup's head lolled over her arm like a rag doll. He was feather light, dangerously limp. She bolted to her car, cranked the AC, laid the puppy gently on the passenger seat, wrapping him in the soft flannel jacket she always kept in the trunk. Then she sped down the highway, no destination in mind except somewhere with help. But there was no vet for miles, no cell phone signal either. The closest animal clinic was back near her hometown, almost an hour away. So she drove, eyes flicking constantly to the passenger seat. Every shallow rise of his chest felt like a countdown she didn't want to lose. By the time she reached her neighborhood on the edge of town, the sun was dipping low and painting the sky in reds and purples. She swerved into her driveway and ran inside with the puppy cradled against her chest. Her parents weren't home. Her hands moved on instinct. Clean towels, lukewarm water, a soft toothbrush. Old formula she'd used for a foster kitten once. The puppy didn't stir. His gums were pale, his paws twitching only slightly. She wiped his face gently, cleaned the grime from his fur, and began administering droplets of water and formula with a tiny syringe. The clock ticked, 1 hour, then 2. Still no bark, still no movement. Harper curled up beside him on the floor, her heart sinking. She had done all she could. Now it was up to him. Tears stung the edges of her eyes. She whispered promises to this broken, nameless puppy. "I don't even know you," she said, voice cracking. "But I swear, if you fight, I'll never let you be alone again." That night, she didn't sleep. She laid beside him on the floor, wrapped in a blanket, listening to the soft rhythm of his shallow breath, each one sounding like a coin flipped between life and death. By morning, the light broke through her window. Harper stirred, and so did the puppy. Barely his nose twitched, his paw shifted just slightly. Then came the sound she hadn't dared to hope for, a weak, wheezy whimper. She jolted upright. "Hey!" she gasped, touching his cheek. The puppy blinked slowly, but his eyes opened. They were the deepest, darkest brown she had ever seen, wide and confused and scared, but alive. "Oh my God, you're awake," she whispered. Tears flooded her vision as she gathered him gently into her arms. She didn't know it yet, but that moment was the beginning of everything. Harper named him Dusty, for the place where she found him, for the soft tan hue of his fur. By the end of the week, Dusty took his first step, wobbly, awkward, beautiful. He stumbled into her lap and rested his head against her arm. That was the first time she felt him trust her. Fully, freely. The vet later told her the snake had nearly crushed his lungs, that another few minutes would have been too late. One evening, a few months later, Harper sat on the back porch with Dusty curled at her feet. The sky burned orange. Cicadas hummed softly in the trees, and a breeze carried the scent of sun-warmed grass. She looked down at him, healthy now, with strong legs and shiny fur. He looked up at her with those same deep eyes, full of quiet loyalty, full of understanding. "I think we saved each other," she whispered. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe for more heartfelt rescues. Like the video to support the channel. Share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Watch the next story. It's just as powerful.